Congratulations on your nominations. Ms. Pryor, Georgia, like all of the states represented by members of this committee, has a thriving network of producers exporting agricultural products, manufactured goods, aerospace products, and services globally. We also host, as you know, the largest single container terminal in the United States and the fastest growing deep water port in the United States at the Port of Savannah. Was looking at a comparison of U.S. export financing with major commercial powers around the world. China has provided in 2020 $18 billion in medium and long-term export credit, France $12.1 billion, Germany $8.6 billion, Italy $8.4 billion, Republic of Korea $5 billion. EXIM authorized $1.8 billion in official medium and long-term export credit financing. It's not the only agency doing that work, but it does the bulk of that work. How would you compare U.S. export promotion policies and financing with other great economic powers and major competitors?
Senator, first let me say that after a 4-year absence of a board quorum, the bank was unable to authorize any medium or long-term financing. So we were focused on small business during the time. I should say the bank was. I wasn't at the bank then. This is something that, if I were to be confirmed, I would continue to focus on. Outreach and business development efforts are the best way to remind people that EXIM is back in business, that we're here to help and support their overseas projects, that we can finance buyers who are interested in American goods and services, and that we can level the playing field to help them achieve their mission.
Ms. Pryor, and how would you contrast the quality, not just the quantity, but the quality and the quantity of U.S. financing for exports with other major commercial powers and international competitors?
I would say that EXIM is more constrained than many of its counterparts, other ECAs. China, not transparent at all, so it's really hard to know exactly what's happening there. But with our fellow ECAs, European ECAs, G7, G20, I would like to see us work more closely with them. But at the end of the day, they are supporting their exports. And so we are often in competition with them.
Right, and so, for example, France, $12.1 billion, 2020 medium long-term export credit, dwarfing ours. Now, maybe that's because we're taking a more prudent approach. Are the constraints in place appropriate, or does the agency or does Congress need to modify the law in order to authorize and encourage more of this activity to help Georgia producers and other producers get their products to global markets?
Thank you, Senator. If I'm confirmed, this is something that I would like the board and the EXIM staff to take a closer look at. We really need to determine ways to continue to put exports first, to put U.S. workers and jobs first by modernizing our policies or taking a look at those, working with you, remaining within our statute and the law, if you will, but figuring out ways that we can help promote exports, because in the end, Americans produce quality products, we're transparent, we hold these projects to high economic and social standards, and many other ECAs in the world do not do that.
Okay, well, it's not a trick question. I'm earnestly seeking your guidance based on your experience, whether we in Congress need to legislate in order to remove constraints that may be unnecessary impediments to supporting Georgia's exporters and others. A question, please, for you, Mr. Harper. How do the authorities that the NCUA would have and has to promote sound cybersecurity practices at credit unions contrast with the authorities that regulators of commercial banks can apply?
So one very big difference is that banks, bank regulators have the ability to go and see third-party vendors. The NCUA does not have that authority, so it's a blind spot for us. It's a blind spot, in fact, that FSOC, GAO, and our own Inspector General have asked us to close.
And do you have the authority to close that without congressional action?
No, it would require statutory change.
Okay, well, if confirmed, will you sit down with me and my staff and the chairman and determine whether there's some action that we should take swiftly?
Absolutely. We are working on a white paper that I will provide to you as soon as possible if confirmed.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Warnock. The senator from